Hi and welcome back to the Tutor Lounge. We're in a different environment today. We're going live from Ward's Music in Whangarei here in the Northland. At the moment we are up in the studio where Brendon, who is one of the owners here, has got his Cubase and his recording system set up in here. We're going to go over a little bit of that because we know that there's a lot of people out there today that are getting into recording and making their own music. So here's a few tips on where to get it, how to get it, how much it costs, and what you have to do to get it. And we're going to put you over to Brendon. Thanks for being on the show today, Brendon, and thanks for us having the use of not only the shop but your recording studio today. Very cool. I enjoyed that a lot. So if you can just go for your life and show us what we need to know about this.
Okay. Well, generally with recording yourself at home, you need to have some type of sound card, which is just a way of getting the sound from a microphone or from a keyboard into your computer so that you can edit it, see it, change it. The little sound cards come in a few options. The main one people get is just a 2-channel, so you can do 2 microphones at once. So say you're a singer-guitarist, one mic in front of the guitar, one mic in front of your voice, and it records into Cubase as 2 separate channels. And and then you can put a little bit of equalizing on maybe the guitar, a little bit of reverb or delay on the voice.
And the idea between the idea behind those 2 tracks is that they're on separate tracks.
Yes.
So you can play with them, mix them.
The important part, if you record them both and they end up on, say, a stereo channel, like you would receive on a CD, you can't change the level of the voice up and down later compared to the guitar.
Without altering the other one.
Anything you do to one happens to the other. So keeping them separate is good. Once you've done that, maybe if you're a guitar player singer, you've recorded those things down. You can then go back to the start of the song and do something that Les Paul invented, which is multi-tracking, and add a bass line along with it, or a keyboard, and just slowly add one instrument at a time until you're finished.
How many tracks do you get? Is it limited?
In the version of Cubase that comes with your sound card when you buy it, it is limited. There's about 48 channels, but it's very rare that you even use really more than 24.
Right.
At the end of the day, the Beatles made Sgt. Pepper's with 4 tracks.
Yes,
so
we should be able to manage it.
We've got much better gear than they ever had, and their album still sounds great. Yeah,
it sure does. We agree. So this is what basically the format looks like?
Yeah, this is the format. You don't have to have 2 screens like I've got here. You can have your mixer there, and then you close that down, and you've got your arrange page. So there's sort of 2 separate windows, really.
And this would be your 2 recording tracks, is that right?
Yep, that's your 2 recording tracks.
Okay. So let's imagine guitars up there, vocals there.
Guitars on there.
Cool.
And guitars, solo, vocals, solo. So we've got just a guitar and vocal track.
See your face on the TV screen, plastered in every magazine.
Yep. And then when you get to the stage of wanting to add something else in, you can put yourself a little, say, a bass line over the top, or some drums.
So to get these instruments into this program, are they already in this program, or you've got to have an external bass guitar to
you can use a synthesizer bass if you like. They are built into it. It's more realistic if you use a real bass.
Yeah.
It depends on the sort of style of music that you're doing, really.
Yeah. So to introduce bass into that, it's actually within this program.
This particular one was done with a real bass, and we plugged the bass guitar into the USB sound card.
Right.
Got the level right. The sound cards have a little gain control on them, so you get the right amount of signal coming in.
Yeah.
And then we hit record, open a new channel, obviously, and put a bass line down.
Right.
In this particular case, you can hear quite a few vocals happening at once there. You can see there's 4 vocal lines all happening at once.
People only see your money, what you've got, when all you need is just a friend.
Right.
So that's one of the fun things about overdubbing or adding tracks, is you can be a whole choir all by yourself if you like.
Yeah. It does keep you in your room by yourself a
little
bit, though,
You start to get square eyes, or as we call them, Cubase eyes.
Yeah.
So inside Reason, you've got cymbals, kick drums, snare drums, and you can hear how much reverb I've got on there. It's a nice ballad, so why not cover it in reverb?
Yeah, true enough. Just looking at that, Brendon, what's the keyboard, how significant is that setting on the keyboard?
That's important for when you have a keyboard attached to your computer.
Right.
You can hit the keys on the keyboard,
got you.
and away it goes.
Okay. But each one of those keys has a separate instrument or
You
something?
call them a little
sound.
trigger. So
Trigger.
it triggers off to a kick drum or a snare drum, whichever you've got chosen for that particular note. If it's a bass guitar sound that you've got chosen or a string sound, you can just play the keyboard and you're hearing strings come back to you.
Okay.
Or real piano. So.
If you need to talk about this, you're welcome to, of course, come in towards and ask them any kind of preliminary questions. If you're not quite sure about it, the guys are all pretty equipped with that knowledge.
So all I've done here is I've opened up the software I like to use. I've chosen a drum kit as my first instruments. Everything's based around the drums. So you start off on a drum track, otherwise you end up wildly out of control.
Yeah, all over the park.
Yep. And then we start putting in some notes. So I'll move my little locator point, you call it, around, and then you can loop.
Does that set a location and it keeps on coming back to that all the time?
Yeah, I hit the loop button and away we go.
Okay.
So I don't have a keyboard here, so I'll just put some in manually. Find there's our kick drum. So we'll start off with a kick drum. C.
Oh yeah.
So,
so did you manually punch those in on time, or have you got a
there's a line.
meter?
It's quite hard to see. That's why I had to lean forward there. There's a line there, and the bar is broken up into pieces.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, we've got our kick. We're going to introduce the snare now.
Snare or a clap. I've put the.
Oh yeah.
I had a clap on by accident. That's the good thing about software, is you can quite easily move it up to the one you want it to be later. So that's a basic enough track to start recording your song with.
And now you're ready to start putting down a rhythm guitar or a bass guitar on top of that, aren't you?
Yep, you are.
Yeah.
And
how much do these programs cost?
This particular software is around the $500 mark.
$500.
Yeah.
What's the lowest end you could get into this kind of production sort of stuff?
In the Cubase, you can do the same stuff with. Yeah.
Right.
I just like the sounds that you get for your $500, and the reason they're just amazing sounds.
Yeah.
The Cubase sounds are basic ones, and they come with the free software that you get with your sound card. So you can certainly start doing this as soon as you get
So
home.
bottom end, it's about $200, $250 or something?
200 to 300 gives you the sound card.
Good Christmas present, you reckon?
Yep, absolutely. We do sell quite a few of them over Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
And then how kind of like way up the range does it
well,
actually get?
the full version of Cubase, which is the one I had there, that top of the line one's $800.
Right. It's still not a huge amount to be able to get a concert.
It's not.
Together.
But the thing that you have with the upper end of Cubase is you're still putting it into the computer
that you've got.
Right, and so you have to have a
Right.
reasonably quick computer to run it, and you also have the tone of the microphones and the sound card.
Right.
So when you have that upper end of software, that's when you're starting to look at spending maybe $2,000 on your microphones, on your preamps for your microphones, and everything else. So you don't need to go that upper end of software until you know that you've got great microphones and a great mic preamp and a room that is designed so that you don't hear the echoes in the room.
Yeah. On the Fritter albums that you guys have released, how many people would have been using this sort of thing? A few, eh?
Yeah, there's quite a few, and some of them, like the song I played earlier, he recorded it all himself at home on his $200 sound card.
Right.
And brought the folder on his memory stick to me, gave it to me, and I just started adding in the reverbs and doing some equalizing on the voices just to give it a more professional tone overall.
Yeah,
So his focus is being a musician and playing and recording himself. He loves doing that. He doesn't want to have to know all about the technicalities of the mixing.
So you would master it here, really?
Yeah, or mixing it.
Yeah. So you mixed and mastered?
Mastering, if I'm mixing it, I like to get someone else to master it.
Right,
It's just another set of fresh ears to go over it.
Yeah, right.
I don't mind mastering other people's mixes. But,
understand what you're saying. Yeah, got you. So on this program, you can actually attain this, get it in your computer, maybe get a few lessons, if you need some. You were
there's
saying before
a lot
that
of
you
YouTube lessons.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Are they good?
Yeah, and most of them are good if you get them straight from the Steinberg website. They're the people who make Hubotts.
Right.
They make their own tutorials
Okay.
on them, but you can also ask in the forums,
Oh, yeah,
and people will upload little videos on how to do things for you if you like.
So
So,
can we talk about loops then? If that's the sort of sound somebody wanted to create, you know, you can go into a loop. Can you explain what a loop
yep.
is?
A loop is another little system where you have a piece of music, be that 2 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, whatever it is, and it carries on going around in circles. We'll open up a synth-based loop. So someone else has played it on their synth, and then it gets chopped up into pieces. So this has been cut up into quite a few little pieces here.
This is an existing one that you
It's
have
an
done, or is
existing
this
one that
an automated?
Reason has done for us.
Right, so it's
already
an
here.
automated one. Okay.
So in here we have it chopped up. So there's your first part of the loop, second part. So it's cut up musically.
Right. So if we were to play the whole lot, it,
Yep.
it does play the whole lot at once, right?
Yep.
Which is what we were hearing.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the whole loop,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can pick out or introduce different sections.
Yep, you can.
Right.
Okay.
So this is creating a loop, which is the basis of, I guess, your song before your vocals are going to kick
Yes. So there's our loop on screen there. So there's all our pieces,
in. Okay. Right.
and then we can move those. So if we don't like that sound,
Yes.
we can have that one or that one. So now the loop has been changed.
Right. So basically, you're dropping keys as well, or tones, and pitches.
It's triggering in a different piece of that loop.
right.
So you can take a drum loop
Yeah.
that's got kick and snare and everything else, and then you can take the snare hit
Yeah.
and move it left or right.
That's
So
in
it's chain-
timing.
yeah,
But
in timing.
also you can do it in
If you want to
tone
do it
and
in pitch, you've
yeah.
got the bender here.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can change the tempo as well. A lot of loops do need to be changed. Actually, we'll go double time. And we can put our drums back in with it.
Was that already automated too, so the drums come in because the timing's perfect there?
The
right?
drums is what we made earlier.
Right.
The drums is this little drum piece that we
Yeah.
just made.
So does the program put those two together and sync that up?
Yeah,
Because that was a perfect
whenever you
time.
change the tempo, it's
Yes.
an overall tempo.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's
Everything
adjusting.
changes with it.
Yeah, that's why they cut the loop up into little pieces. So it's instead of triggering the whole loop and it sounding blurry or getting out of time, it speeds up each little piece of that loop. So
Right.
it still sounds very natural.
Right. No wonder they don't get out of their bedrooms, man, because
That's
you
right,
can just go
yeah.
on forever with that.
A lot of people think being a DJ is being out on stage and playing some turntables or CDs to an audience.
Yes.
If you're a DJ that is as well known as the big names,
Yeah.
they're actually creating their song at home on this stuff
Yes.
and then playing
just
it.
replaying it.
So their DJing side of it is
Yeah.
just playing back
And
the music,
embellishing a little bit.
But this is where the real skill is.
Yeah, yeah.
If they are
Yeah.
a creator of music rather than a player of
Yes,
music.
yes, got you. Yeah. So DJ, I mean, really is not DJ anymore. Really, it's whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
it's creating.
facilitator
yeah.
of music.
So there's another little loop here, which is a piano one. I'll just. So it's just looping around and around. I can change the key,
Right.
and then we can
Does
add
it
it
always stay in perfect tune? Because that sounded bent to me.
Yeah, it's
almost
whatever the sample.
discordant.
It's whatever the sample was that they created in the first place. So we
Right.
can find the one that was discordant. I'll just play the piano. It's that very first one there that sounds a little bit out. So slice
Yeah.
one, and we can change that pitch up. But it is a discordant chord
Yep.
in there.
Yep.
Or we can mute that pitch completely, so it'll leave that one out.
Right. Right. And can you do it with vocal as well?
Yep.
So once you've recorded your vocal, you can do a bit of pitch control to that?
Yep.
Cool. This sounded quite good, by the way. Nothing wrong with
Just
that.
throwing something together that we don't even know what they are. Yeah.
There you go. How
Yeah.
easy is that? Yeah, so that brings me really to ask you, how long does it take to be able to do this as good as you just did that? I mean, depending on, you know, the heads.
Yeah, if you spend a lot of time on it, you can do some really good results after a year, 2 years. If you want to get up to the level where your stuff is great enough to get onto mainstream radio, it does take time.
Yeah, there's no fluke in this thing.
There's there's no tricks. There's no quick fix stuff.
Right.
I've worked in the studio full time for 10 years, and then after that, spent another 10 years working with this sort of software and working in the studio part time, because I got sick of working full time studio stuff, so now this is a part time bit of fun. I would say if you spend 15 years working on this stuff, and you'll start doing really well.
Right.
And a lot of the artists you see on TV, they might be quite young.
Yeah.
They've got an older head.
Got an older
helping them
head.
out.
Yeah, because that 15 years is going to just scare the bejesus out of everybody. Mate. You know, so I was hoping you were going to say 2 months, man.
But 2 months, you're making some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
2 months,
so
you're having a lot of fun. I liken it to playing PlayStation.
Right.
You can play PlayStation, you might not be very good at it straight away, but you're still having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And then the better you get, the more fun it is, and you get an end result with this instead of a high score.
Yeah. So crazy kind of last question, mate. If somebody is attracted to music but is so kind of lazy in a way that they don't want to learn an instrument, because it's quite hard learning guitar and piano and all that, this is a really good option, right?
Yeah.
Where you're kind of getting that creativity out, you're getting that musicality out of your own.
Yeah, definitely, because you don't have to know your music theory, you don't have to know anything, you just use your ears. If something sounds wrong, move things around until it sounds right to you. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is most people these days have got some kind of idea of how to use a computer, right? Whereas, you know, picking up that guitar for the first time and trying to do that, a lot of people end up giving it up, you know, and it's a pity. So you can create some pretty cool music on this sort of stuff without having to really, you know, go to school.
Yep. About 2 years ago, we sold a computer and the software to a mid-60s guy. He, within 2 years, had done 2 albums for himself that he had recorded himself at home. He'd never even used a computer before, let alone using the software. So it can be done if you've got the time and you want to stick at it and give it a go.
Did you ever hear about his stuff?
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, he's got some really great reviews in the New Zealand musicians for the stuff.
Really? Just gifted, eh?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yep.
What program did he get?
Cubase.
Cubase. Well, there you go, people. Cubase seems to be the way to go, or, you know, for some good reason, you don't like Cubase, you could go for a reason.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate. Hey, look, thanks, mate.
Excellent.
Once again,
No
honestly,
worries.
Brendon, good to see that, mate. Nice to be in the shop, nice to use the shop, and, you know, thanks to Wards for giving it a good old boot, you know, because these are the boys that look after the musicians in town.
We try.
You do.